All right, everybody, we're live here on the Shark Stream. We got a great match for you tonight. Rob Piersa, Fargo 698, Ryan Cullen, Fargo 668. And I'm excited because we got a special guest in the booth. Besides Kicking Chicken and Bobby, who do we got in the booth here?
Lance Liciotti.
Lance Liciotti, son of Kong himself.
Full royalty. How you doing, Lance? Nice to see you.
You too, guys. Thanks for having me. It'll be
Wow.
a good match tonight.
Great
Boy.
break right there to start off by Rob.
So this is a number 2 and 3 match on the list.
Yes, winner of this will play Lucas for the number 1 spot. And Lucas has been holding on for a while with that number 1 spot. He's playing fantastic.
It's tough to beat.
How's he doing with his challenges? I know he put out an open $50 come get me offer that anybody could take his spot.
2-0 so far, I believe. 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 so far. So he hasn't lost a 1 spot that way yet.
I'll tell you what, Jamie Nadeau gave him a little run for the money there.
He did.
He caught Lucas on a night where Lucas wasn't feeling good. I think he was just coming off the flu, and he got his attention.
Now, what about this shot here, Lance? What do you think? He's kind of straight here. He's worried about getting on that deuce.
Yeah, rail first here, and 2 rails. Watch out for the 3-9. Oh,
Could have been worse. Could have been better.
Yeah.
Not terrible.
he was gambling. Tough to go up table to down table there. Traffic.
He shot here. If he makes this, I think everything else is
Yeah, he's
out
got
of pocket here.
He's got to clear the 9 ball coming through.
The 5 to the 7.
Yep.
The 5 to the 7.
No, that's 4.
Yeah, purple's 5.
And that's a mess right there. Don't forget, guys out there, these are 4-inch pockets. These are brutal.
Yeah, I just took a look at it while I was out there, and it does look tough. It's intimidating. Those side pockets.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, the side. You can see the sides right there.
On stream, it looks tight, but in person, it looks double tight.
Intimidating.
Yeah, I seen the earlier match that just finished. A 9 ball went down the rail, and it just left the rail by a hair. And it didn't even hang. It just totally left the pocket.
Right.
And I was pretty surprised.
There's a scratch by Ryan. So now, so yeah, the 5 might be a little weird to get to the 7 because the 8's in the way.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go from the 4 to the 5 and this line go to the 7 afterwards. It's pretty tricky and tough.
I think if he gets close to straight as he can here,
Yeah.
he could draw back up into position on this purple 5.
Let's go to long view and see exactly what he's looking at. This is what he's looking at right here.
Yeah, he's going to want to get off that rail a little bit so he could address the 5. He's going to have to shoot a good shot to get to the 7.
Needs to be around the side pocket-ish. Yeah,
Go to the overhead,
not-
see if you can see how close that 7 is to the rail. Not really tight to the rail. It's a tough angle on the 5 here.
I think he would have preferred to come up just about another 2 inches.
Yeah, to be on the other side of the floor.
He might need to use the short rail to come down on the 7 now. And he does.
Get
And
enough
it
of
gets
it.
a little funny.
This might lay good for the bank.
Yeah, I think that
Actually, would have been nice to hold up a little more. Be able to twist this one in and hold the cue ball 3 rails.
Yeah, that's what he's probably going to twist. He's probably going to come around the 8 ball, I'm guessing.
You're playing a safety there.
Yeah, that's a wise decision. Because you miss that. If you go in on the bank and you miss it, you're probably going to leave a hanger side, one of the sides, whether double banks or.
Sell the farm, if you will.
Yeah.
These guys respect each other's game enough to know if they mess up, it'll get mopped up pretty quick.
Oh,
Like
kiss
that
there.
kiss.
Oh, look at this. Oh, I thought it was going to get him behind the 8 ball there.
Because to me, it almost looked like it was like a little choppy there. And I hadn't seen.
This is perfect. Got a nice angle to come 2 rails. Be about where ball is now. Or if he might go 1 rail, but I think 2.
So Lance, we're going to come at you hard right out of the gate. So what are your New Year's resolutions?
Make a ball. Maybe 2. Make a score. Maybe 2.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'd like to quit smoking. I'll tell you,
Oh, you're a smoker, right?
that's very high on the priority list. I caught a cold a couple weeks ago, and I stopped for like 3 days, and I was like, all right, this is it, no more. And then lost a football game, and I was like, yeah,
Felt a little better.
yeah. Went on tilt, lost a little money, and I was like,
Yeah.
Remember when I used to smoke a long time ago? I quit in 1996, but when I was smoking, the hardest thing for me was after a meal. That was just like the perfect ending to a meal. It's almost like a dessert.
it's like a trigger.
It is. It really
Yeah.
is. It's a
Yeah.
trigger
With
thing.
me, after food, when I get in my vehicle, right before I'm about to play a set for something,
Yep.
love a cigarette right before a set.
Like
Like,
settles you.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I rather smoke a cigarette before a set than be able to hit a ball.
It's
Like,
isn't that-
really,
isn't
like
that-
I'm not
it's
even
amazing.
joking.
It's amazing,
I'd
right?
rather play cold as long as I get a cigarette in me.
All right. Rob's firing that wing ball in on the break. He's hit him really hard,
Yeah,
too.
he hit those.
No soft break in here so far.
No, no cuts. No.
Yeah, this one isn't a hanger, but that 2 ball is pretty close to the pocket, so got to make this one navigate around this 3-6 traffic area. He might even cut it to the left just to avoid all that, but I doubt it. So tough, big open pockets. He might.
Yeah, he's cutting to the right.
You might nick the 3, right? Might nick the
Yeah,
6.
that's okay though with that 2 ball being close to the pocket. You know, just had to make that ball.
I think he figured that rub off the 6 and it helped him.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
still a little tricky over here. You got the 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, that 4 to the 6 is going to be key.
Like he's going to draw this all the way around here.
I like it. Like it.
Brooke, you see there's a good crowd there watching. Obviously, this is a great matchup here. 2 versus 3. 668, Ryan's Fargo, and Rob 698.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty good numbers there.
Yeah, those are strong numbers.
Anybody out there, hey, let us know how we sound. Let us know if you can hear us. Let us know what you think of the colors. Colors look good. I know that 4 ball's still kind of weird, Lance, right? You're getting used to it?
Yeah, I'm going to make that mistake probably 3 times. Right.
Well, after he sees where he got in the 6 ball, he's happy he missed the 5.
Yeah,
It was tricky to get in there.
it was.
Go to the wide angle, see what he's looking at here.
You got to try to play safe and get that cue ball back over near the 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, if he could see this, just almost play it like you're trying to spin it in and make it, and then go 3 rails. With the cue ball.
Pancake. What's up, Pancake? Sorry,
Sure.
Lance.
He can't. Now this is where you usually kick these in because you have no great shot on the 6 afterwards. But
Oh, yeah.
like it just seems like these have a much higher percentage when you don't have a reward.
Yep. I'm just noticing, looking up at the
He
monitor,
almost made it. He
missed
almost
that by
made it.
a whisker.
That might have been why he shot it with the extra rail there, because he knew if he went 1 rail and made it, the cue ball just dies and he doesn't have life on the 6.
Right.
Not even like a real good lockup safe.
It's not it really easy either. He's got to,
Yeah.
There's a little work to do.
yeah, that's what I'm worried about right there.
So put the 6 to the right side of the 8 and nuzzle right up on that 7, and both those balls just go right up table.
Yeah, it looks like he's got enough room there. And great job, Joe adjusted the. Oh, he didn't get it.
Hit a little. 6 came out, hit 7.
Joe did a great job adjusting this camera, looking really good over the overhead.
Yeah, they're all looking.
Why is Rob 1? Rob's 2. Lucas is 1. Did I?
No.
Oh, score. Plus 1. I hit too fast. That's why we need Pancake in the booth. Pancake, where you at?
Thanks,
I
Pancake.
just met Pancake a couple weeks ago when he was playing the Scotch doubles match at US One.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice guy. I just talked to him real quick. He was in the middle of the set. Just nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Here he's good, good action, and you could always use guys like that in the full.
Absolutely. Yeah, he actually did really good. He won a big match at Turning Stone, which I was at this weekend.
He was down 8-3 or
Yeah,
something,
it's a killer.
Yeah,
A good killer.
Yeah. And I'm thinking you were playing Scotch doubles over there. Like, he's got that tight box table. Jeez, it must have done good for you.
Rob's going for the 3 real safety here. Look at that shot, guys.
Good,
Hit
man.
that chin.
But
Guys, you watching this? When you get somebody locked up like that, you're cutting off all kinds of kick angles on them.
Yeah, this
It's
is
a tough
that's a game-winning shot 90% of the time. Care who you're playing, because how do you get there from here?
look how close he is to that 7 ball.
Complicated. Even the kicking chicken's thinking about this.
Like 2 rails out of the corner of the bottom right corner.
Right here.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to. Yes. Yeah, that's not a
You
bad
could
way.
either
He's
go
going the
through.
other way, but that 8-ball's pretty big.
Trying to put a lot of reverse on
yeah.
this ball.
It's hard to
He's got a great
He
hit.
judged that perfectly.
That was great
He's a
hit right there.
perfect judge. And look at the leave.
And you're
He did
right,
leave.
Bobby. He put backspin on that forever. That was a good shot.
All right, Pancake wants us to bring the guys on Friday. You know what? I'll ask them. I'll see what they're doing.
Oh, we're already talking about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
see
talking
what they're
about
doing.
coming up to gallery. Yeah.
I think Pancake's got to give me a game there, but that's just the way I'm thinking, especially after that match.
Oh,
And that match.
yeah,
Absolutely. I'm liking it. All right, let's go.
What do you do here? You go in and
I think he's gonna play the
Safety.
bank.
I
Go around the table.
play a little aggressive. I'd probably go in on. I don't blame him for this shot.
I don't know.
For the percentages.
You know, these guys are solid number 2 and 3 on the list for a long time. And, you know, they both want to kick Lucas's butt. They really do.
Oh yeah, how
They
can you
want to
not?
get there. I know. This kid is
We
just
love him to death, but
Yes.
it's just a competitive thing. You just want to beat number one, and Lucas is not shy to tell you he's number one and he's gonna beat you. So it's fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
It's all good.
Yeah, love it.
Hey guys, let's get the sharing going. Let's get some numbers up. It's going to be an absolute fantastic match. We got Son of Kong, Lance Liciotti in the booth joining us. And you guys are in for a great match. So get the sharing going. Let's get the numbers up. It's good stuff here.
Hit this.
Had a little bit.
It goes.
Pass it. Yeah, it looks like 6 passes, 9. Good draw to the rail and out. 7. I think. Yeah, I don't see why
looks
not.
like
Yeah.
looks like you might end up on the 9 side of the 7.
Yeah,
that's
which is
that's
yeah,
okay.
that's
Nothing
okay.
wrong with that.
You might even go into the 7 and come out with a shot. And you kind of got to gamble here a little bit. I don't know how the table really how grippy it is. You know, this is like one of those grippy draw shots.
He doesn't look like he's shooting.
He said, "I'll put him behind the 9."
Another good decision.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this is why these guys are
Wow,
number 2
look
and
at
3.
that.
They're playing some good safeties. They know when to duck.
Yeah. Decision making, whether it's 9 ball, 8 ball, 10 ball, whatever the game is, it's so big, and you don't hear people talk about it enough. You only hear people talk about, oh, he's such a great shot maker, he's got such a strong stroke.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a high level talent, decision making, it plays a huge role.
You got to have that computer in your head like your father had. Like
Oh.
he had the mainframe, the IBM
Yeah.
mainframe, right?
I'll tell you, pool players that have also played a lot of poker, I think, have an edge in that department. The risk reward and running the numbers and variant positive.
We have seen some pool players turn out to be damn good poker players.
Yeah, yeah. Tony Roberto,
Sure.
he was like an open player, so about a 7.720 Fargo at some point, and got a million. Hopefully, a lot of guys.
Going for the carom here, guys.
He might be able to play both of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
That was a great shot.
Yeah.
I thought he might be calling the 9 there.
Gotta avoid the cross side here, but it should be okay.
Send this out. Oh,
Yeah, he does
Bobby,
avoid it.
you're
Nice shot.
right, man. He didn't avoid it by a whole lot.
And now you're gonna see this great stroke that Robert has here. He's really gonna let
Yeah,
out
this is a touchy one, man.
Is he gonna
You jack
drag
up
draw?
a draw?
Might drag draw.
These can get away from you, or you can like hit them way too soft and end up 3 feet short.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, those are
What
really
you call that?
those
That's
are
right.
really tough to gauge. You gotta take your medicine here. Out of the
Nice shot.
How about that?
good shot.
Oh, boy, that
Nice,
scratch
nice.
was looming.
2-0.
Yeah, yes,
He
it was.
needed to be drawn out of.
Yep. He hit that good though. He didn't hit. He hit it pretty soft. I thought he was gonna hit it a little firmer. You know. I
Yeah.
thought he did it. He executed that nice draw, grabbed, and
All right, Lance, since we got in the booth, let's ask you a couple questions
what you
here.
got?
What's the number one question you get when they ask about your father?
How much did he win when he won the world title?
Really? It's all about the money of
Yeah,
players.
yeah.
Huh?
They said, was it like $1 million?
It was 1976, man. How much
right,
could it be?
right. It was 50,000, which is 76 was a good score.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Wow.
Yeah. And to double dip Mizrak to earn that, it's pretty strong. But
Yeah.
he actually, a lot of people don't know, he lost his first match of that tournament and then won 13 in a row, including double dip and Mizrak in the finals.
Oh.
And that's pretty tough. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody losing their first match and then winning the world title
It's straight pull.
in
Yeah.
any tournament,
Yeah,
in
right.
9-ball,
Yeah.
10-ball, anything. And
Yeah.
he was 29, which was the youngest ever world champion at the time.
Yeah.
That's been broken 1,000,001
Yeah,
times.
there's like a 16-year-old.
Yeah,
Right?
That was a big deal.
Wu Ching,
Yeah.
like 16 or
That's
something,
crazy.
and then quit pool. Like what?
I know.
I just wanted to be in it long enough to win a world championship.
You're 16. You can't like drink, smoke, drive. Like
What are you gonna do?
I haven't even done any of the fun
I'm just
stuff
gonna-
in the company's pool.
You're like, I'm just gonna rob the world and quit. And
Yeah, go do something.
I heard he started playing again, but
I did. I heard that as well.
yeah, but imagine if you never stopped.
How can you win a world title and just get out?
Listen,
Well, another thing back to my father is I have heard a lot of people say they think him winning the world title was the worst thing that could have happened to him because he was hungry and that was his goal. And then a lot of people felt like once he reached his goal, he
Pull
just,
them off.
yeah, like he kind of lost the, like he always chased money, you know, he's
Yeah.
more known for being
well, he was
level
probably known as the
gambler.
best money player ever.
Right.
At one
he
point, for
was,
sure.
Right. So, you know, I think I think it just hurt him from an accomplishment standpoint,
Yeah.
you know, because he was like, well, he used to just travel the tournament scene and not play in the tournament, just gamble, you know, and
Talking about Larry or Lucas?
my father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do the same thing.
Right.
I can see that, but okay.
So you lose accomplishments there because you're not even in the tournament. But back then, he was making more in the green room gambling than the winner of the tournament, anyways. So
But that's what Bobby Hunt said. But he said now at his age, when he's going to join us a little later too, he said one thing. He kind of wished that he maybe played more tournaments now to get that little recognition because nobody knows about the money. You know, they do at the point.
You did not want notoriety back
Right.
then.
Yeah.
You wanted to be under the radar all the time.
This is a break and run. This is a nice, easy one, guys.
Yep. Robson. Perfect.
Okay. You have to really describe it because he literally hit every ball.
Yeah.
Where he needed to be, perfect position.
Nice when you get a couple.
3-0 for
3-0. We give you guys a quick word from Lipman Light. Absolutely. We're just talking about those Lipman lights in the booth. Pretty nice, right, Lance?
Oh, I'm super impressed. This is the first time I've ever seen a room with them, and they look like they're off. When you actually look directly at the light, they look like they're off from
Yeah.
the side
the
angle.
diffusers are doing their job.
The diffuser does a beautiful job.
Well, you can see there's no shadow. It's perfect, right
Yeah.
underneath the perfect
That's what you
seat.
want is a little
It's
dot
beautiful.
underneath
Yes,
them,
absolutely.
any side stuff.
Yeah, I was very impressed with them. And they look good too. They're not
They do,
ugly lights.
no.
They're nice and low profile, skinny. They probably don't weigh much and they're probably easy to hang. And
Yeah, they weren't bad. They
Clean
weren't
up,
bad. The
clean up
guys
the
did a
whole
great
look of
job.
the room. Yeah.
they're like the original diamond and gold crown lights, except for they're
Except
way
skinnier.
smaller
Yeah, the way
and
the way-
thinner and sexier
Just-
looking,
yeah.
low profile.
Right.
Just
Right, those other ones are like dusty. They look big
You're
dust
right.
balls.
they
Yeah.
weigh like 80 pounds too. Steve Mack had one in the house, and he had issues hanging it from the ceiling.
What, a
and
diamond?
It was the original diamond light.
Yeah,
the
I
one
have.
that's
I
like-
have one. Yeah,
Right.
they're
They're
big,
like the size of the whole tabletop.
Yeah,
they're huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do a great job.
and they're
but-
big, heavy wood.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here they're like 80 pounds.
They do a good job, but this is doing the same thing.
You know, we did a lot of research when we were doing them, and I really like the Predator lights too, as far as the table goes. But like you said, it was just the lighting that went out is what threw me off. Is
bleed.
why I didn't go with them.
The
I went with
bleed.
these.
They bleed.
Yeah. You know, because for a pool hall, I still want our atmosphere.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so-
I've always liked more darker than the brighter side, and he's doing a great job with lighting everything up and
Yep.
not, making it like a tanning booth everywhere.
I think there's our first shot from the air. We're gonna
Yeah,
jump
it's gonna
here.
go to the air. Let's see how he this ball over here. You know, try to stop it there, kind of, and cut the two, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. It's always nice when you can jump and have life. Well,
That's not gonna work. I got a couple other questions while I got you both here. So I was at Turning Stone all weekend. What a great event! I don't know if you guys heard me on the commentary.
I did. You did a good
Did a
job.
great
think-
job. Yeah,
Tony Stone's a great.
I kept
Great,
hearing
great
the boom.
commentary on those guys.
I kept hearing booms coming from my mouth.
Yes, I was doing a couple booms. People were asking for them.
Another terrific, well done, well run tournament by Mr. Zuglin. It was great, and the final was amazing. Really an amazing show.
12-6, and he comes back.
Yeah, that was one of the best finals I can remember watching for quite a while. That's just exciting. I mean, you didn't know who was gonna take it, and
No, Jason Shaw is just a beast, man. He loves
Yeah.
that area, that table, just he owns it. It's like
Yeah.
confidence, everything.
I've never seen him play a bad set. I mean, ever in my life. I mean, it's I can't even remember seeing him shoot a bad shot.
He
Like,
doesn't have too many dogs in him, that guy.
and Sky's. I mean,
Ran a 6-pack to get right back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
in the
did.
rear view mirror. Oh my god.
he's playing. I'd like to say the best he's ever played, Sky, because I mean, he's always been a bar box killer, and
They're saying this is his year.
Yeah, I mean-
He's going to that's what they're saying.
I was hearing Melina Mike the other night saying he thinks that Sky's going to dethrone Shane and be the
Whoa.
number one American. It was either him or
Wow.
Panazzo or one of them on the show, but
Yep.
it's and you know what? I could see it happen because Shane's kind of on the decline a little. I mean, I was surprised not to see him at Turning Stone.
They said he had a little slight injury,
Oh,
but he
really?
also his hand. But he also said previous in the year he wasn't going to play as many tournaments.
Okay, so it was planned on going in.
There was a little bit of question, a little tiny bit of controversy about whether Shane wasn't there because he might not have been real welcome because of what happened at the last Turning Stone. But it turns out that that was debunked. They said that he really was still welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, Shane left early because he had some matches set up in the Philippines.
Well, I remember, I believe he lost a match,
Yeah.
and then supposedly he cracked a craps table for like 30,000.
I heard that as well, but you never know.
Yeah, but I mean, we heard it from so many people. Like, maybe it wasn't 30, maybe it was 20,000.
I heard it might have been 40, but
Yeah.
The telephone game, yeah.
Yeah, might make it a little easier to leave after you crack it.
the first prize is 10.
Yeah,
Right.
those casinos, man, they're tough. I don't know how much I'd want to stay there if I cracked them for 40 either. I might want to just take it or leave.
All right, perfect timing, because this is the whole reason why I brought up the question is, what do you guys think of those rules that he uses with the no jump sticks and also rack for your opponent?
I like rack. Most people don't, but I like rack for the opponent. I don't want to see rack mechanics robbing people because that's all that is robbing. And I don't want to see manipulation. I just don't.
I agree.
What's going on, Tom? How are you?
As far as jumping goes, I really don't care.
But I think he's the only event that will not allow jump cue. Am I correct or no?
I don't know of any of them.
I can't think of anyone either. And you know what? It's too bad because, well, whether you like or don't like jump cues, that doesn't really matter so much. It's become a skill set in pool,
Yeah,
and
it's not going anywhere.
And it's not going anywhere. Some guys are really amazing at it, and why not showcase it? Why not let guys play?
I just don't see what's the argument of saying we don't want jump cues? Now, I will be the first to say that I think it's a tougher and more beautiful game without jump cues.
It's an advantage.
But like you just said, whether you like it or not, it's a part of the game. It's the direction the game's going in. So you might as well adapt to it. People are spending money and buying these cues, and then to say you're not allowed to use them, I don't understand. As a tournament director, you typically appeal to the masses. The masses want to jump, so especially at higher level, like a Turning Stone or something. It's not like a small amateur tournament.
And it's no joke. It's a big skill set. It's a big skill set to learn. And when you watch people like Fedor Gorst or even Shane, I mean, Shane's a magnificent jumper.
His meeting, he basically said it's worked for me for 28 years.
Yeah,
that's his. I mean,
but on the other flip side of the coin, he's also said that if everybody agrees to the same rules, he will follow suit.
Yes,
there's a governing body. Yeah,
right.
Yep.
And everybody has agreed that jump cues are allowed, except for him. So he's kind of contradicting himself a little bit there, in my opinion. But Mike does run a great show. I'm not critiquing him or anything. It is what it is.
That was a heck of a cut he just made.
Yeah. He's not out of the woods yet.
The frog hair off of that one.
Yeah, pockets play small from here. Gotta hit him good.
Tough shot here. This is the 4. Look at that.
Nice
4-0.
Listen,
Here we go. There we go. Boom. There he is. Lance Liciotti. Everybody's asking to be serious here on the Shark Stream. What's up, everybody?
Chicken's going to yield. I'm going to let Bobby Hunt come in here and exchange a couple of stories with you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to our feature sponsors, Viking Cues, Simonis Cloth, Aramith Products, and Andy Gow. Thank you for making this happen. Guys, enjoy the rest of the way. I'll be watching tableside.
All right.
Nice to see you, Lance.
You
Yep.
too.
Bye.
Rob's breaking up 4-0, Lance. This is a tough obstacle to come back. Rob's no slouch here.
Yeah, Ryan needs to get on the board and quick. You can't let your opponent get too far ahead of you here, especially with the tight table, because it's real hard to put packages. You know, if it was a bucket, Ryan could get up and break and run 3 or 4 at any given moment.
It'll
But
be a little harder for this to break in more than 3 or
yeah,
4.
yeah, it's hard to it's hard to run 4 balls on this table, let alone 4 racks.
Yeah. But somebody asked what they're playing for. So we have our list here at Yale Billiards. We have 2 lists actually. We have the pro list, and the pro list is basically 550 and Fargo and above, 7s and 8s and 9-ball, and then a semi-pro, which is 6s and lower or 5s and lower. But the 1 and 2 can play for whatever they want. We tell them, please put something on it, like a $2 $20 tournament.
Yeah, minimum, and then if you guys are feeling froggy, fire away.
Actually, but they can play for whatever they want. They can be playing for 100, 1,000. We don't know.
Right.
But it's
always good to see.
too.
You gotta sweat something. Makes it
Absolutely. Both of these guys are sweaters too. So
yeah. I've never heard either of them be picky about something. Yeah.
Look at that strip
Both
Rob.
pretty cool customers.
So Bobby Hunt's back in the booth. Bobby Hunt, how you doing?
Fine, Bob. Got one of my favorite people's sons in the room here.
I'm sure you remember him as a kid. I know I remember Lance as a kid running around World Championship billiards, chasing his sister. Torturing everybody. You're shooting a 9-ball, you see a little guy running around the table.
Kick your leg.
I remember up in Maine, you were on the beach.
Old Orchard Beach. Those were some of the greatest.
Some of my
times
best
ever.
memories.
Yeah, me too.
And
they had the carnival, the summertime carnival, and we went to what was that pool room downstairs? Spot shop. Yeah.
Your father stayed with me a lot when I was up there.
Yeah.
And back in those days, there was a lot of action and pool action in Maine.
He used to
There was card action, everything.
Yeah. I remember we used to go to that pool room and he'd play a guy. I don't know who the guy was. I was like 14 and I'd play his son. And I don't know what my dad was betting on it, but he bet on both of them. And he had an ice cream spot up there where he would get a banana milkshake. And I never knew anything about banana milkshakes. It sounded disgusting to me. Let me tell you, if you haven't had a banana milkshake, you better try it. It's phenomenal. And we had a ball. I mean, we had a ball up there.
Some of my best memories are the summers in Maine when I had a job back in the 80s.
For 2 years.
Shame on
For
you.
2 years.
Shame on you.
For 2 years. He talks about like he had a 25-year career.
Anyhow,
It felt like 25.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Larry would stay with us, but I had a great line with it. Was a guy named Johnny Pappas.
Yeah, I know.
Total degenerate of a human being, garbage.
I-
He owed Larry and I money, and I beat him. I forgot a few $100. Larry had half of my bet. Well, Johnny stuck us for 180. So over the next 2 years, Johnny said, "I paid Bob. I already paid Bobby. I paid Larry. Larry and I trapped him on the third year, and he paid us. And then everybody in town was mad at him because he wouldn't pay them. Larry and I, but it took us 3 years to collect from that.
If I'm not mistaken, he was the one that my dad spent a night in a room with. They split a hotel room, and the safest spot to put the money was in his pants or something weird like that, or under his pillow or something.
Well, Larry,
you'd never look for it there.
Larry was staying with me at the time. Well, he stayed with everybody.
Yeah.
But we'd leave the door open at night, for Larry and Tommy Jr. and Mike Abbott and Paul John. Someone brought him up. But so one morning, Larry didn't come in that night before, and I said, "Where'd you stay?" He said, "I stayed with Pappas." Yeah. I said, "Weren't you afraid he'd rob you?" And without hesitation, I put the money in his pocket. Yeah. I knew he'd never think.
He never looked.
Pappas was when Pappas owed us this money one day. I saw him downtown. So Larry and I my wife and I at the time were going downtown, and I see Johnny playing pool. So I take him in, and now this is when he tells me Larry already got the money.
Right.
So I take her inside. I say I introduced her to the biggest scumbag in pool. So Johnny goes, "I'm broke. I can't pay you." A little while later, walking out, he drives by in his Chevette, costs about $80, and he waves a big bankroll at me. Yeah. Larry and I had to trap him together but it took us 3 years to get 180 out of him.
Some guys are brutal.
Oh,
they're so brutal. That's the one bad side of gambling for sure is, man, I can't tell you how much money I get into it. It makes me mad even thinking about it.
Yeah. So Lance was talking a little while ago, Bobby, about everybody was asking how much Larry win the world title in '76, and it's 50,000. He said
Is that what it was?
back then. Yeah, he
No,
won
I don't
50,000 back then. And that's a pretty
Yeah,
good
that's
chunk
what
of change, 76, right? That's got to be worth at least 100 now,
Yeah.
maybe more, right?
You know,
52.
I know I sound like an old guy talk about how things are better in the past. Now you have one or two tournaments a year that pay around 50,000.
Yeah.
There were 4 or 5 a year back then.
Yeah.
Johnson City.
There were some big ones. Like that's something I wish I was your father's age, because I would have liked to said I saw Johnson City.
Yeah,
But I was
that's
too young for
hear ya.
that. But there were a lot of tournaments. I remember Atlantic City had one or two that paid it. Boy,
Right. Character. But you might get away with it here.
I like the way Ryan plays.
Yeah, I like how they both
Yeah.
play. They both
I love the way Rob breaks.
yeah.
Boy,
He's been
Yeah.
breaking fantastic this match, too.
imagine if your father could.
Yeah, that was that was his biggest weakness for sure.
That's
Was his
something
break.
I could play with your father.
Yeah, his
But
break
he
was
couldn't break.
not good.
He tried heavy cubes, light cubes.
Yeah, it makes no sense because I'm a small guy and I hit him hard.
And
he wasn't a big guy, but
Jeremy Sosey's a little guy. He hit some really hard.
A lot of it is pure technique. And
And those
Speed, too,
those
speed, yeah.
those straight pool players out of that era, our era.
Wow,
Oh,
look at
it's
that. Walk the
wow.
dog.
That's the best
this.
shot so far.
Let's see if Joe fixed this replay on that one. 'Cause that was
look
a
at
great
this.
shot.
Oh, look at this whole.
Look how good it came out.
Oh, baby, oh.
Let's go look at the replay here to see. Look at this thin cut here.
Man, he hit that good.
Okay, it does not. We did not weigh 60 yet. All right, he's good here for the side, right?
Yeah,
Tough side,
looks good.
guys.
Those sides are tough.
They're cut
Yeah.
funny, too. See, they cut in a little. Well, usually they're straighter, aren't they? They don't look like it's
Oh,
cut
the side
on the
pocket.
inside a little. Yeah.
They're
look
tough.
tight.
They're
Really?
tough, man.
Yeah, they
They
are.
really do look
On
tough.
camera, they really don't look that bad, but when you're out there looking at it in person,
Well, here's. I mean, here's the. If you look at this right here. It's this is where the side pocket's supposed to end, right there.
right.
And you got both ends.
Yeah.
You got both ends. That's a lot. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
And they're not very cut. I mean, they're cut open like they're supposed to be, but
Yeah.
they're not cut
No,
wide
no,
open.
they're not inviting.
No, not
No.
at all.
No. So
I feel like I missed 5 balls out when I was just standing out there just watching guys play on it. I felt like I was dogging it.
So you knew Larry before Lance was born, right?
I've known Larry. We first played about 1972.
That's before your day, right, Lance?
A little bit.
30 years.
Just a little bit.
Larry had I think he said his stepfather had a cottage or something in Saybrook.
Yeah, something
So-
like that. Yeah.
In the summertime, Larry would come in I had a little pool room in a bowling alley. But
Look at that break! Wow.
even before I had the room, Larry would stop in. And first time we played, I didn't know who he was. I was probably 22. He was only 20. And he came in and we played and he beat me for whatever money, but I had to quit him. I was going to see the Rolling Stones that next night. I said, you come back Thursday, bring money.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I came back with money and he didn't show up. So now it's like a year later. And now I know who he was. The billiard paper came out with a picture on it. So I ran into Larry and we were in New Jersey. Now I was starting to play pretty decent. And he walked over to me and said, I said, how come you didn't show up? We were supposed to play. He says, how much money did you bring, kid? I said, I had $200. He said, oh, good. I thought I blew a score.
Yeah. He was witty.
Oh, he was
Boy,
so
was
witty.
he witty. Yeah, he was
He
so
was-
quick and witty.
I've stolen
Really?
so many
Yeah,
money.
He
absolutely.
could have been a comedian instead of a
Oh,
pool player.
100%.
I mean, he was so fun.
He was so quick. I've stolen my best lines from
Yeah. They
He
just
was-
never stopped.
Oh,
You know, it
like
was
when you
always
see any
something
other-
new.
money in the guy.
Yeah.
Larry once we're out to dinner. This was up in Maine. And I said something, Larry, can you hand me the song? He goes, oh, I couldn't see it. I was snookered. He was snookered by the pepper.
Yeah, right.
Who would think to make that analogy?
Right, yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
understand it, but
The quickness that he was.
Yeah.
He was.
And he always like that with everything, like you said, at the dinner table, not
Right,
just pool,
right.
everywhere. Oh, watch out! This could be a
I never saw
stinker right there.
your father one time in my life where I wasn't happy to see him.
Yeah.
He just,
Yeah.
he made just, and he never badmouthed people.
No.
He didn't love the New Yorkers too much.
Yeah.
But overall, he just,
He had reasons, I'm sure.
well, most of them were creepy.
Yeah. I'll tell you, all the places I've gone, I have always avoided New York.
I-
There's no. all I hear is bad stories.
I don't even want to go down there.
Oh yeah. Every time. Yeah.
I've always been comfortable.
It's just.
I've been on meet Ginky a few years ago before he passed.
Right.
I'd leave my watch home, and I'd only
Yeah.
bring 300.
I forget who it was. They were running a senior tour towards the end of my father's. There was a tournament in New York we went to at a hotel.
Mizrak ran.
Was it Mizrak? I think it was Mizrak.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a real nice event, like tuxedo, and they had like those AM FM radios where you would tune into the commentary and put the headset on, and it was a real nice event. I wonder why that didn't gain more steam and stick
Oh,
around.
Mizrak died too.
Yeah, maybe it was that.
He ate himself.
All right.
All right, Ryan's on the board here, guys. 5-1.
That's what we like to see. We got to see a match here. Got to see a little swinging back and forth. And
Yeah.
hopefully that's what Ryan needs to get a little confidence and get a little momentum going here. But I'll tell you, on a tight table, the momentum could swing at any moment.
I don't like tight tables for 9-ball.
I was just going to say the same thing.
For one pocket, I do. But
Oh, for one
9-ball,
pocket, I
I
love
want it to be like a table 4 is here. A little tighter than normal, but not
I
too
don't
deep.
know. We need a 3 or 8 ball for the money on a Hill match on this table.
Well, oh, yeah, against
You made
Mike
a 3 or 8 ball
Nice.
for the teams, too.
For the team. I remember that, actually. I was tuning in that night.
I've had to see that 3 or 4 times. People show me the video.
That's
Well,
awesome.
You know, it's funny. After I got lucky, I had an easy 9-ball. I couldn't, but I was on the hill.
Yeah.
So I could hear him behind me muttering
Yeah.
after I got lucky. So I stalled as long as I could, hoping he'd give it to me.
Yeah, I've done that
Oh, yeah,
a
keep
million
waiting,
times.
because I could feel me dogging it up.
Yeah.
there.
Bobby's still making moves, man.
That's a free roll. That's a free roll. I love free rolls.
Still
Like,
making
you sure you don't
moves.
give it to me? You sure?
It's funny about dogging it. In all the years I knew your father, I remember him, in my opinion, dogged 1 9-ball. And I knew him for
You remember who
30,
it was
40
against?
years. George Textera.
Okay.
It was in,
I love George.
yeah, I do too. But he was up in Bristol Billiards. And I
Georgia
never-
kid?
Don't tell me it was at the Billy Zuda Memorial with like 90 players.
Well,
or
it was,
something.
that probably
It
was
was-
because I haven't played a tournament since.
It was like 8,000 for first.
Whatever it was, Larry dogged it, and he got upset, and I had never seen him get upset.
Yeah.
Normally
He
he'd
probably went straight
Because
to
he
the
never
bar.
missed. He was probably at the bar
He
before,
didn't-
but
Yeah.
he still plays well.
Larry didn't miss much.
No.
Yeah, he had, when you mentioned Mizrak.
Oh, I know. Look at this.
Your father might be one of the only people in the world who can say they beat Mizrak twice in the finals of the tournament.
For the title,
For
yeah.
that title.
And then he stayed there and they gambled and he beat him for his money and his cue that week. Yeah, I mean, he really
But
wiped
your
the
father was right.
Yeah.
I was just something when I first started playing your father. Now this is like 1975, 76. So now I'm playing pretty good, and I can play with your father. I mean, I'm still gonna lose. And we had an appointment to play one day in New London, so I'm waiting, and he beat me before he even walked through the door. He and your mother came walking in the door. Larry is dressed with this beautiful leather jacket. He had gray pants on, the platform shoes. He had a case and an ice cream cone, and your mother did too.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, "This guy's too cool for me."
Yeah, I'm in trouble. I'm in the bag.
And hit the ball, and I knew I was in a trap.
Yeah, that's the old dress good, feel good, look good. No, look good, play good, feel good, play good.
He always looked good.
Yeah, he always liked that.
All right, guys. Hey, how do you guys like the colors? Joe did a couple of things to the colors. Let us know what you think about that. And of course, we got the great Bobby Hunt, the legend, here in the booth with the son of Kong, Lance Liciotti. If you guys have any questions,
Tommy Jr. made that name, didn't he?
now would be the time. Great player himself as well. But it's obviously hard to compete with, a world champion. This is dad.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Like I've never tried to compete with everybody else. I'm just trying to be the best of my family. That's all I'm trying to do. Everybody's like, well, don't you think you should be top 10? Can I get or that? I don't care about none of that. I just want to be the best of my family. I just want family bragging rights.
Larry was bigger than life.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun, man. He got mad at me once in my life, and he had a problem with the TV. The TV was out or something. Right?
he had a bet on a game. It had to be.
It probably was. Yeah, it was probably sports on, right? And I was on the computer playing a video game. I was probably like 13, 14, 15, something like that.
Oh,
Pretty
nice shot.
And he said, Lance, help me out real quick. And I kind of, to be honest, snapped at him. I said, give me a sec. Hold on.
Teenager playing video games.
Yeah,
Understandable.
I'm being honest. didn't give him the proper response. And he pulled the chair out from under me. And that was honestly like the only time in
You
my
got a whooping.
life. No,
No, that's
all
what I
he
mean.
did,
That's the only
yeah,
one you got.
it just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
surprised me because
Yeah.
I'd never seen him do like anything in my life, like never even raise his voice. He's just,
I never.
and I was like,
heard
all right, Dad, I got you. What do you need? Like the TV, I got you.
somebody here wants to keep up with Larry's stories.
Oh yeah, that's what you guys are here for. When I found out Lance was in the area and I asked him to come in, I'm like, great opportunity to get you guys together because you guys chat all the time, like on the chats when you guys pop in
Yeah.
and say hello. I don't know if I've seen you guys together in a while, so it's good stuff here.
I wished your father happy birthday. So
Yeah,
every year on his birthday, I wish him happy
Yep,
birthday.
just went by the 26th, December 26th,
Yours is the
How old would he been?
23rd. Yeah, he was born in 46.
70,
76.
72. But it is funny knowing Larry all those years. There was some years he was 4 years older than me, and as he got older, he'd tell people he's my age.
Yeah, that's funny because my mom was like that too. She was 36 for like 10 years. I swear.
Larry's number moved.
Yeah.
Bringing a miss by Ryan. Ball in hand, Rob up 5-1 here.
Boy, if Rob gets out here and takes a 6-1 lead, it's gonna be tough to recover. This is almost, you have points in a match to where you could twist the knife.
Yeah.
This is kind of one of those points right here where
Almost a dagger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is big.
5-2 is not that bad.
No,
But
but
6-1.
6-1.
Is,
Right. You got to beat them 8-2 from
8-2.
there just to win Hill at a 4-1 ratio. And
I'll have to get on this 7 ball. He's gonna have to do some
yeah, the
hot
6 to
sauce.
the 7 is definitely going to be the key here. Gonna have to. I don't know what he's.
Look at the
Okay,
longs there,
looks
see
like
if
he's
he's
gonna
pretty
use
straight here.
low left and throws. Looks like he's got a pretty healthy hand.
Oh, he got a beautiful angle.
Yeah.
Look at that. Nice stroke.
you know what's funny about that shot he just hit? In my lifetime, that's how we hit it. Then when the Asians, the Filipinos came, we started hitting out top and
Go
go
around,
forward.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But before the effort started showing up in Parika, Americans didn't use inside English very
Yeah.
unless it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
They really changed the way we play pool.
Yeah, they took the fear of the inside away.
Yeah,
and
they,
said,
they
you guys could fear it and play safe, and we're just going to keep running out.
Oh, yeah, these are Connecticut players. They are playing on our list, and these are top 2 and 3. Their Fargos are right there, respectively. And yeah, if you follow the short stream, you'll see a lot of good players, and definitely in our top 5 are just, all top-notch players. So,
Rob did his
Oh,
job and
boy.
got out.
so were you around when Chicago Billiards? Did you ever go to Chicago Billiards, or were you too young?
I did to, ironically, visit my father.
Of
He was
course.
there for so long. We went there to visit him, and it's like an hour from our
I know,
house.
You came down for Christmas.
Yeah, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was that pool of it. Could have been a different one, but I believe it was that one. I was real young at the time, and they wanted to kick me out because I kept throwing balls off the tables and throwing them.
I can't believe they would kick you. I think
Well, you know what I mean.
Billiards, but
Like,
yeah.
get him in line, Larry. Get him in line.
Larry stayed. He was there for quite a while.
Yeah.
But there was a dumpy motel out called the Yankee Motor Inn.
Yeah.
And Larry told me he actually had a room there.
Yeah, probably a monthly rate.
He said to me, he said, Bob, it cost me $100 a night to sleep there. I said, dump.
Yeah,
I said,
no,
Larry, he
nice.
said, well, Larry says, well, I only go to bed twice a week. And he was actually accurate.
Right.
Larry couldn't go to bed if there was one guy in the room who still might want to play.
Yeah, he was. A lot of people have actually told me that. They said, it was almost like he was scared he was going to miss that big score
I
that he's
think
been
so.
waiting forever for. And,
That's-
that might have been a part of
He
it, to
was
be
a-
honest. Like,
he just-
if you do your numbers, the longer you're in a pool room, the higher the chance you're
Yeah.
going to make that big score. It's just simple math, I got a good story for you. We're at a tournament. I'm real young, like 10, 11, 12. No clue where we are. And I'm watching his opponent run some balls in the middle of the match. And my dad is not at the table. Most likely went to the bar or whatever. Maybe snuck out for a cigarette.
I've waited for him more than once.
Yeah,
so-
who knows what he was doing.
Yeah.
But he comes back and it's his shot immediately. So he grabs his cue and he gets down and he's addressing the wrong ball, playing 9-ball. He's on the 3 and he's shooting the 4 or whatever, right? And he's down on the ball. And I said, Dad. And he looks at me. I said, you're shooting the wrong ball. He said, Lance, you're not supposed to say
You
that.
can't say
Be
that.
quiet. What are you doing? And I said, oh, sorry. Kind of like, barked a little bit. And he shot the right ball and ran out. And after he won the match, and after the match was over, he gave me a little bump with his elbow and said, "Thanks for letting me know." And I felt really good at that point because when he kind of barked, I felt embarrassed. Like, oh man, I
At first, right?
you know, I'm young, and I just see my dad shooting the wrong ball. Like, what are you doing, Dad? And I always got a kick out of it that afterwards he was, kind of gave me, how he was with that smile of his with the.
Like the cat that ate the canary.
Yeah, he always had that, like, he just had a unique little smirk that he would do sometimes, make you feel good.
Oh boy. I
You're gonna miss.
only took my son one time to a pool tournament in his whole life. I'm happy I was a pool player, but I wouldn't wish it on children.
I'll
Go ahead.
tell you, my father actually kind of negative, but it is what it is. He actually told me not to play pool. He said, "Lance, I'm gonna tell you, pool."
But
It was
it was great for him.
well. See, that's
This was Lance.
It wasn't a very long conversation. It was a quick thing on the ride to the pool room one day. I don't remember why it came up or anything, but he made it sound more like he didn't like the direction at the time. Pool. He thought the money was
Right.
leaving
I
pool.
think the money was.
Yeah, that's basically. I don't think it was because he had anything against pool. I think it was just that what he thought the direction of pool was going in, that maybe it had peaked and it was on the decline, which seems actually factual looking at it. Yeah, man. Right.
I loved it. I mean, that your father loved.
Yeah,
But wouldn't wish it in when we care about.
right.
Ryan jumped the ball and he fouled, so that's why Rob got ball in hand, and then Rob missed the 3 ball.
So that's what the doctor ordered there for Ryan. Ryan needs to get out here 6'2", and anything can happen. How many times do you make a mistake? The guy runs out, and it seems like they always break and run the next rack. Like that,
It really does.
that's like 80% for whatever reason.
We always you play the 9 on the break, you win. Anytime I've ever dogged a 9 ball or anybody, the guy's breaking.
Make it on the break.
It happened way more than it should have.
Yeah, you always got to get double, if not triple.
It happened to Lucas against Thorsten. He missed the 9 ball, and then Thorsten broke and ran this weekend.
You get punished.
Unbelievable. Of course, Thorsten could break and run anytime. But
yeah, I watched that match. I was sweating it.
Yeah.
Yep.
3 mistakes he made. He touched the ball overhand, wrong hand.
I didn't see that. I saw where he drew
behind the 9.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I was watching it, and I noticed his pace had picked up a little bit, which a lot of the times
it could be good or bad, but
yeah,
it's usually bad though.
A lot of the times you could run over it, like the way Lucas plays. He could run over anybody in the world if he's just has that nice rhythm.
Yep.
But I said to myself, that new cloth is so unpredictable. Like with me, when I'm on new cloth, as soon as I stop thinking and I try to get into rhythm, I make a positional error because that cloth just, especially draw, it just takes off on you. You really got to, like me, I really have to stay super conscious of the new cloth thing because it's so slick and slidey.
It is.
I don't like, I've never liked playing new cloth.
I can't stand it. That's one of the biggest reasons I don't want to go to Turning Stone because I'm a bum on new cloth. I look like
when Jonas was here, you know what I mean? And hey, how do you like our tables? We really keep our tables up.
Right.
He goes, man, they're not. He goes, they grab too much.
Well, because he's used to
the new. Yeah, he's used because everything. Because when we play, everything slides. There's no slide here, so it's obviously the plays all the time everywhere. But it was weird to hear that. You know what I mean? You don't expect that. But.
Yeah. I mean, maybe most of the pros do like those conditions. I mean,
well, they have to get used to them,
right? But that doesn't mean they have to like them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be curious if we asked Shaw or Sky or whoever, what do you like more, new cloth or something like this, which is the sweet spot? It's
I'm interviewing with Jason this week, so I'll ask.
That's
a good question.
Because
great question.
Like Bobby just said, I'm not a fan of new cloth. It really limits what you could do, and it puts you in some real uncomfortable positions.
I don't know what that
was.
That
could have been a mystery story.
I have no idea what he was.
I don't even know if.
So Steve Rowe, just so you know, Ryan jumped the ball, he missed it, gave Bob ball in hand, then Rob missed, and then Ryan ran out. So second person that asked, so you guys can watch the stream as well.
Well,
so Bobby, when you're on the road with Larry, did you guys play? I know Lance was saying earlier, you guys would go to tournaments and not even play in the events, just to make cash or make more.
Me more than Larry. Larry was already well known, so he may as well take the tournament off.
Yeah.
In my case, people didn't know that I played as well as I did, So I would stay away from the tournament. What we would like to do, like Maryland was perfect example. I would go to a tournament and you find out who has money. Where do they play? You don't play in front of like on table one here. In front
And you could never hit a ball unless you're gambling,
and
right?
Eddie O'Connell, who was a big mentor of mine, Larry had a great insult on Eddie. I love the way Larry said it, but he wouldn't let me hit a ball until the money was posted.
Yeah.
He said, because as soon as I hit a ball,
They know.
they know I can play.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
but-
when you see a player,
yeah,
if you're a player, a fisherman recognizes another fisherman,
But what Larry said about Eddie O'Connell, which is funny because in my early days, Larry was the best we had in Connecticut. And then Eddie O'Connell would have been right behind him. And I don't think it wasn't a big difference. But Eddie believed the game should be won before you flip the coin.
Yeah,
And-
I've heard my father actually say before that a lot of matches are won or lost before a ball's ever hit.
That's how Eddie felt.
Yeah.
Now, in Eddie's defense, Eddie had 4 kids.
Yeah.
Where he and I would run a road, and I just want to play.
Yeah.
Even now, I'll still take the worst if
Yeah,
I like playing.
I'll take a slight worst of it all day.
But
I'm
one
feeling
day,
good.
I was talking to Larry. We were talking with Larry. He mentioned Eddie O'Connell. I think they had a little rivalry.
Yeah.
But I know Eddie wanted him to sell him a table, so they must have
Yeah.
gotten along.
Yeah.
But Larry was saying one day, he said, "Yeah, Eddie. I saw Eddie playing a guy, dead serious. I saw him playing a guy over in the corner. The guy drew the cue ball back a foot.
Eddie quit him.
Eddie unscrewed him. It was too good.
Yeah.
But Eddie was a top player.
Wow,
He
nice
was
shot by Ryan.
A great hustler.
Yeah, matching real well.
Yeah, where like Larry wasn't like that.
Right.
Larry was so well known.
Yeah.
Every time he played, everyone knew.
Right.
I told that story in the videos about with the wig.
Yeah.
Larry sneaking up on a guy he wore a wig.
I forget who it was. Bruce DeFonso or something. I'm not sure who it was, but they were in Florida. And they went into a pool room and said, "I'm looking for action. You call whoever you want." And they said, "Okay, we'll call someone, one of our local guys. He'll be in a little while." And it was my father who walked in. And they knew it was like Bruce, like I said, like Bruce, I believe it was Bruce DeFonso. I could be wrong. And they looked at each other like, and they said that my father's name was going to be like Tim or John or whatever it was. And they're like, "Oh, Tim. Yeah, okay. What's up, Tim?"
You can't do that anymore because everyone is sharper.
Yeah.
Information moves so quick.
Yeah, the internet
He's-
killed the world.
Oh, yeah.
My wife saying hello, Lance.
Hi, how you doing? Long time no see.
All right, Ryan, that was a breaking run. A good chance for Ryan to go 6 tied. I mean, get within 3, but he missed it. They're for Upper Bank here.
I'm sure you're bringing her to Mohegan soon for a concert. Gotta be
boy.
something, Huey Lewis or something gotta be going on.
No,
with
Huey
that.
Lewis has the voice thing, so he can't sing right now. So yeah, so we haven't been doing that much there. But we went on a cruise for our 30th anniversary. That was fun.
Oh, nice.
That was a good time.
Nice.
Good time. All right, Ryan has a big cut here. And it's a big,
This-
obviously big game.
This is tough. I mean, it's definitely makeable, but this is tough, especially on this table. You got to hit this clean.
I'd be aiming for the short.
Oh, overcut it.
Yeah, try to overcut.
Yeah.
So-
So if you're gonna miss it, you cut it out.
You're saying come here, this way he comes back over here if you miss.
Yeah, if you miss it, gets back. The cue ball's up the other.
Wow, how about that? I'm
Yeah,
just gonna make it. How about that?
If you hit it that good, you don't have to worry about it.
Thanks for the tickets, though.
You're always welcome.
She'll never forget
You're
that.
always welcome.
She'll never forget that.
I remember that. Yeah, you had a big crew with you. I think. Remember we met? I think we went to the lounge or something. Yeah, that might have been a different time.
That might have been a different time, but yeah.
I bumped into you a couple times. MGM,
Yes,
Mohegan.
absolutely. MGM, Mohegan. Yeah, Huey doesn't sing anymore, but
Hey, Steve. A friend of mine's in Florida listening.
Capitan.
Yeah, he came out of the New London pool.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
remembered
the name looks familiar. Yeah.
He used to shows how old I am. When he was in school and he heard I was uptown playing Larry gambling, he'd skip school because you had to walk right by the pool room to get to the high school. And he spent many days skipping school to watch us play.
Yeah. Not that you need a big excuse to skip school.
school, play pool, It's tough choice,
The
Choice.
New London pool room was one of the best in the East Coast.
Yeah, I always heard
Oh, it was
ton
great.
about it, and I spent a lot of time in Mohegan, and that was the local place, and I'd go there, and it's obviously not like what it used to be. Yeah,
Zion Valley.
I know you were down there on a certain day, every Tuesday or Wednesday,
Yeah,
I
it was
believe,
good.
and Cosmo and that Filipino Mario, and
It was
yeah. I wish I got to play him more than that one time. You were there when I played him.
perfect speed.
Yeah.
No matter how good he played,
Yeah.
you can't get
And he's a gentleman.
He really is.
Yeah, he was.
Ryan pushed out. Made a great break. He made the wing ball. The one ball went right towards the corner. It just hit both rails and got into a weird spot. So he pushed out instead of trying to shoot it.
So I think it's safe to say momentum is swinging.
Yeah.
Ryan wants to just keep things going just like this. He can feel the momentum building. He hit that 9 great. That was a tester for sure, and he passed with flying colors. So, he's got to be feeling for down 6-3. He's got to be feeling pretty decent about himself right now. And he's got to keep this going.
Well, he's got a very makeable jump shot here, and he's
Yeah.
probably going to get shape on the 2 if he makes it, unless he goes too long.
To be down by the 7.
Yeah, as long as you don't get stuck behind the 7. Side pockets are so small. He's got to really concentrate on making this ball.
Absolutely. Wow, how about that, guys? Look at this. Might be good here. Nice shot, Ryan Cullen.
Yeah, this is going to be a tester too. This ball touches that rail. It's
Not going in.
Yeah,
it's not going in.
It's going to be tough. You're going to have to hit this weak. And he's got to miss the 8 ball. He's got to miss the side pockets coming back.
Smart play.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all because that was going to be a tough shot to come out how he needed to get to the. Why that's the 4.
Yeah, that's.
I was thinking he had to go crisscross back for that.
Either way, it was
I got 2 more of those mistakes.
Either way, I know what I'm saying. Too real hit here.
My dad used to say that you'll dog every ball 3 times in your life before you start making it. Because think about when you're like a Z player, right? You dog like a straight in 9.
Over, yes.
Probably more than 3 times. Like, and every time I dog a ball, I'd be like, yeah, that's one of my 3. Just put that in the vault,
Well, man, you were so right though. Larry was so witted. I mean, I remember going to school hall. He had all of us kids just rolling all night, just little one-liners here and there.
Yeah, little jabs.
He's walking by you at $5. You know, made that 9 ball. Anything. It's just always something.
Do you remember when you were going to beat Larry's in my ass over that coin flip?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I was irate that point. You probably would have got the 100, but he beat me for 100 in the basketball game first, so I was down 100.
He tilted you a little bit,
like 100. Because he did pick it, and this guy just says bet odd or even. Of course, I'm a gambler. I take even. He gets odd, and he wins. The guy missed a free throw. All right. Well, I wasn't losing 200 on that. Then we ended head, so I was done 200.
You got to draw the line somewhere.
And I was holding up money, and I could see it coming.
Yeah.
I was hoping Larry'd win it outright.
I'm surprised that he would do that with a guy of your size, Bobby. Because select who I pull that one on.
How about that? Did Larry do that often, or
I've never?
He could get away with it.
Yeah. Which was probably a decent amount over the years.
He had a movie used I saw once in New York.
The beer bottle on the wall?
No. This was one, he said, I'll put a piece of newspaper. It was a big guy, and I don't remember who it was.
Oh, watch outside.
It might have been Shannon.
Now, Bob, quick question here. How come when you scratch, the side pockets are huge?
I don't understand how.
Like
angles you can scratch in the side pocket on. You could never shoot a ball in.
Yeah, from the bottom rail.
From anywhere, then you can scratch.
Yeah. It happened to me last night. Somebody was watching and made the same comment. Like, how does that happen?
Could bank that ball inside. I wanted to.
You can't shoot it half the time. And
I think Rob, that happened to Rob against somebody. It was in the Liciotti Cup.
The Liciotti Cup against Lucas.
It happens. Yeah, something like that. Weird thing.
Yeah, fluky. It sucks when it happens because it's one of those things that you're not like real conscious of because it just doesn't happen.
Yep, it's not supposed to. You don't think about it.
Yeah.
Chrissy, we already talked about the lights. Lance said you like the lights.
Oh, yeah, the lights are phenomenal. Really, I think you made an excellent decision.
Big angle here. It's not easy. Right pocket.
You missed.
Yeah, it is a tough pocket. And what Lance was saying earlier, momentum is swung a little bit here.
It's a big thing. It's real for sure. Momentum is.
I mean, the heads on the floor thing. That is like. Yeah, I'm smiling right now because that's a great one. You know what I mean? It's
a free roll.
Yeah, it's a free roll. If you got the cojones, it's definitely a free roll.
He certainly did have that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, maybe a little too much for his own.
How you doing?
Good seeing.
Brian's 5-2.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye. I was going to say about tight pockets. Larry and I both agreed that tightest tables we'd ever really played on was a place in Bridgeport. Gil Black had a pool room, an after hours place. And they would give you the pockets, the side pocket. You could put a ball in the spot, ball in hand. You didn't have to make it.
Yeah.
But they had this thing that a bet, even money, you get a break shot, ball in hand, and you nice shot.
Wow.
Nice shot.
Nice control
And
there.
that you can't run 15 balls. The high run,
Wait, what do you have to do again?
you just give yourself a straight pull rack,
Yeah.
Eight ball racket.
perfect break shot.
Yep.
Break it. You can't break and run
A straight pull break shot or an eight
straight
ball?
pull.
Okay.
Straight pull.
Yep.
Straight pull. You can't break and run 15 ball.
15?
15.
One racket.
Okay.
These pockets were, you couldn't get the chalk by the
It was like that one at US one
Yeah.
or even
But
worse.
there was so many shims, it was phony.
Yeah, the way the
But,
pockets
so
were
for
cut.
like the side pockets looked half this.
Yeah.
So the high run in there was about 22.
Yep.
So I came in one day and I could play a little straight pull. I ran 33. I was I was in heaven. Within a week, Larry came in, ran 62. I said, Larry, how did you do that? That pockets look big.
Yeah,
They were
that's
the
something.
tightest pockets
In the
I
world.
ever played with. I had that record for less than a week.
Do you remember table 20 at World Championship? It was triple shimmed, but like you said, like the pockets, the way they were cut was just so gaffy. We had one pocket especially that you could put the ball on the long rail by like the second diamond and put the cue ball down, and he would bet anybody that they couldn't make it and draw. Yeah, that second diamond.
Yeah.
And
So
they would make it where the cue ball
he's
is.
saying here,
Yeah. And they'd have to make it where the cue ball is and draw the cue ball all the way back to the end
cue
rail.
ball here, he's got to draw
No,
back.
the cue ball would be like here.
Oh, cue ball here.
On the rail.
And he would let like open players try it. It was the most gaffy pocket ever. And I mean, it was doable. It
Right,
wasn't
but it
impossible.
was hard. You
but
had it dead, not center.
it was one of those things where like a Lucas would be like, oh, bet 100. And, you know, he's like 1 in 8 to do it or something, you know?
Yep.
It was just a brutal. The whole table was brutal, but that one pocket especially was double tough. But anyways, where I was going with that was Bob Dengen told me he ran. I don't remember the exact number. It was like 150 on that table. That's why I was asking if you were familiar with the table. No, that Bob Dengen ran like 150 on it.
The one in Bridgeport?
No, the one at World Championship. It was a triple shim gold crown, but it was gaffier and tougher than a normal triple shim, which was basically as tight as it used to get back then, anyways. But I was just so impressed when he told me that. Like, that's why I was just curious if you had any experience.
I remember playing. I always played on the front with your father.
It was the front table by the counter.
Then it
was tough.
You couldn't break it.
Oh, yeah.
Nine ball was on. I think that's when Larry won the tournament and he beat Perica in the finals on that table. Do you remember?
I thought that was in the back on table 8, but I could be mistaken. There was multiple tournaments there, but
I just remember that you couldn't make a ball on that table. So I felt Larry could run balls as well as anybody alive.
Oh yeah, if it was a tight table,
after
it was that one. Yeah.
And I remember I used to play your father. He didn't have a overly powerful stroke. Every third rack, your father's waxing those balls.
Yeah,
So his stroke
the
was
maximum.
great.
Yeah.
He was tough. He knew everything. And you know, I remember like Bob Dengen once said about some money with Larry. He says, "That's Larry. Can't get mad at him."
Yeah.
He just couldn't get mad at him.
Yeah, he knew how to steer things into his direction, like any good gambler does. You know, he
knows how to get the percentages in his favor.
Yeah, but without you truly understanding how big that one little
he understood all the edges,
right,
and not just pool,
right? Right.
Chin,
chin. He used to hold his cards upside down, and I asked him one time. I said, "Dad, why would you possibly hold the cards upside down?" And in typical Larry fashion, he says, "Because I don't see things like everybody else."
He's right.
You know, and I'm like, and I laughed, and then I'm thinking, well, who cares? You're still making it like way harder on you. But
it's
you know
not
what? But you know what I think? But you know what I think it was? I think it was to protect his cards from prying eyes.
I believe
because you know when you're on the road playing. I used to play Sal Bev at Action Billiards, and you know all his friends would be around, and I was always. I'd have
angles, absolutely.
I would always be thinking like, all these guys are behind me, walking up to my hand, and this is when I like just met Sal. Now I know that would never happen, but I don't give anybody any trust or anything. I just assume everybody's out to get me. Yeah, right. I just protect myself at all means, and but I think that's why he did it was because instead of the cards being at the top part of when
Yeah.
you fan them, they're at the bottom where
I bet you that's also
got
going to help where you place your cards because really good gin players know
What?
how you place your cards and what you have.
Yeah, right.
That's-
I watch how people
Yeah,
organize their cards
absolutely.
because when they open up, when they gin and they open up,
Yeah.
they don't shift anything because
No.
their hand's made. So when you
It's the
watch
same
them,
way they do it.
right? When I watch them drop their hand, I look at how they're organized. So I
Did you ever
think,
see
oh,
the
he's-
Stu Unger movie?
oh yeah, the High Roller Story,
Yeah,
great movie. One of
unbelievable.
my
That's
favorites.
great.
Yeah.
Great. Now it's kind of true story too. So
Yeah.
You know, where your father
Yeah,
held
it
the
is.
cards upside down. I was in Derby City one year, and I was sitting next to Ronnie Allen, who was a legend.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I talked to him. I don't know him at all. I said, I have a nice picture of you at home. I have a picture of him and Larry and Eddie Taylor.
7-4 guys.
I think I know the picture.
Okay.
I think.
So we're talking. And I said, Larry was a friend of mine, and I think he didn't believe it. And he said, oh, he is. He says, how did he hold his cards? I said, upside down. He said,
Yep, you're a
"Because
friend."
You're a friend of Larry.
Yeah.
Because of that, we were friendly while we ate dinner.
Yeah.
Funny. How do you hold his cards? Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody in my life do that.
No, I never.
No.
Ever.
Still,
I mean,
yeah.
it's-
But he did look at things different.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's such a great point. And yeah, he
Look at his
does.
son. You know, you would think if he's
He
going to
might
give
have to move on
anybody
you.
an honest answer of, well, I was sick of people screwing me on the road. You know, they'd see my car.
But I think
He
it
still
was.
gives me the
I think
winning
it was
response.
kind of an answer. I think it was. 'Cause
Yeah,
he did
yeah.
not see. He does not see things the way
No,
everybody
no,
sees it.
he definitely did
No,
not.
he was definitely. He saw all the angles and he tried to get every angle.
He
Right.
knew everything.
I asked you earlier. I thought you were going to say it. He would take a beer bottle and for whatever reason, when the beer bottle's a little bit wet, even when it's full, with the friction, if you rub it in the corner of a wall, it will stick. Like nothing's holding it up but the
Yeah.
friction when you wedge it in the corner. And he used to get a lot of people with that. Bet 50, bet 100 that I'll make this I'll just stick the beer bottle to the wall. Nothing will hold it up. And then he had another one where he would stick, like you could throw a pencil up to the wall and the tip will stick into the
Yes.
wall. He would throw it up there and bet that he could have it land in a beer bottle.
I had heard of that. So
I guess he did it at Action Billiards. They told me he did it there one time. I think it was Sal Bev told me. And I guess what the trick was is he would throw the after the bet's made, it's already locked up, so it doesn't matter what you do. He would throw the pencil up there, stick it in the wall, put water on it so the water drop would come down, and then line up the beer bottle with that drop hit, and then just wait for the pencil to fall, and it would fall in the beer bottle. Yeah, he just had every little gaff. And,
Yeah, I remember he had like another one where gin rummy or playing gin, he would give like every card and give you a mush hand, or he would take it and get 4 on you. I can't remember
Step back.
what it was. Step back.
Oh, step back. Yeah.
Step back. You have like a mush hand, and he show you. You look at a hand like unless you're really good at it, you're like, I can get 4, and he would. I forget how he did it, but always had the angles for sure.
when he did in London, I started to say before, there was a big guy hung around in London. His name was Humphrey. So Larry says, and Larry's not big. He put a newspaper on the floor. He says, I'll bet you stand on one side and I'll stand on the other. I'll put my hands behind my back and I bet you can't lay your hand on me. He's bobbing and weaving. Have you seen this before?
No, I never heard of that one.
Right? The gimmick is you open the door, put the paper there and close the door.
Oh,
They can't.
yeah, the guy. Yeah, he
I learned
How
early
many
on.
stories of those? That's unbelievable.
I never. Once I got good at pool, where I could play him. I never did anything, any gimmick he.
Oh
ever
yeah, if he
suggested.
proposed
If he-
something, you
nothing.
better just instant say no.
I never did anything except play pool with that.
Yeah,
man, because
and that's never very
no,
profitable long
no, but
term.
I had a chance.
Yeah,
But
right.
the other
Right.
things, if he made another thing, Larry knew every gimmick, every angle.
Yeah.
And it's like Bob Medenda said once, you couldn't get mad. It was Larry.
Yeah, right. And let's be honest, like I've definitely paid people off on hustles because when they proposed it to me, it intrigued me so much. To me, it was worth losing 20, 50 bucks because I knew I'd make
I'm gonna
I
make
knew I'd make
triple on it.
5,000 over the next 10 years from that stupid hustle. Whatever it is. I remember before it was in the movies or whatever it was. You remember when you take a matchstick and you bet somebody you can land it on the skinny side? Do you know that one? You take a matchstick, right?
Yeah.
And there's the long side
Yeah, and you
and
put
then
them
the
together
skinny
and things
side.
like that or something.
No, all you do, you say, listen, I'll throw this matchstick in the air and I'll have it land on the skinny side.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you won't. You're crazy. You'll never do it. All you do is bend the match until like basically an L, and then it stays on the skinny side. You throw it up in the air and it lands.
Yeah.
You know that one?
I don't know that one.
Yeah, that one. A lot of people know that one now. I think it was in a movie like
Yeah.
10 years ago or something. But I remember he showed me that one. We were at a steak house, and the local bookies used to hang out there. He was probably settling up or whatever. We were getting a steak, and he showed me that he lit a cigarette with the matches, the book of matches
Yeah,
they used to
yeah,
have
yeah.
at the booths. And he said, "Lance, check this one out." And
Going for the 3 safety here, guys.
that's how he was. You would just
Fold
be
it in
sitting
half,
there
yeah.
eating a steak
Yeah.
dinner with him, and he's like, "Lance, check this out."
You know, one of my favorite robberies he did was the Hammer.
Oh, Phil
I
Hoss
mean,
or whatever.
That guy
it is.
was beautiful.
The Hammer. He was a trip.
He
I got a good story after that. After you.
Well, we're in Chicago billiards, and I guess Larry's trying to play in pool. So Hammer says, "Well, I'll play you, I think 5-card draw, if I recall." Larry goes, "Well, I'm a pool player. I don't play cards." So Hammer played Larry 5-card draw, but Larry got 2 extra cards. I'm sorry, 1 extra card. He's got 6 to
Yeah,
5.
that's still
But
robbery.
Larry busts him.
Yeah,
So
of
the
course.
next time Hammer comes in, I'm not going for that again, Larry. So they played blackjack.
Yeah.
Larry won all ties.
Yeah.
This kid,
God.
the kid never lost $100 in the pool room
Right.
on a pool
But-
table. Larry busted him out.
Every sucker. So Hammer, he
Was nuts.
he could play. But
Sometimes
he
he
was
was
I'm
almost
talking about the Hammer, the little kid Hammer.
He had
he
his name
wasn't very
tattooed.
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil
Oh,
Hoss.
yeah, I don't remember that guy.
Maine, 2 years ago, Jeremy saw him up in Maine.
Yeah.
Really?
I seen him about 10 years ago randomly at World Championship one night. He came in a black Escalade, and I couldn't believe it. He looked like he had
Wow.
won the lotto or something.
Wow.
But anyways, my story about Hammer is me and my twin sister, were like 10 years old, maybe younger. Hammer spots my sister 19 games in a race to 20. Obviously, my dad's setting this whole thing up, and beats her on the tight triple shim gold crown, right? So my dad says, "Yeah, triple the bet and give it to Lance." And I was a ball banger. I wasn't a player. I was just a ball banger. I'm like 10 years old. Like, I can't run 2 balls with ball in hand. But you know him. He figured the Hammer would hang a 9 or something,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. That's how you buy
Third rack in, he hangs the 8 ball, and the 9's a duck. And then I just go ding ding.
Yeah.
But Hammer was I'll tell you another quick.
You got
Hammer story.
intelligent.
He's playing a really rough guy that likes violence. Okay, somebody that you're not supposed to pull moves on. And Hammer's down $100 playing like 50 a set or something. He says, "Hey guys, I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts. There's a Dunkin' across the
Larry
parking lot."
told me that.
He said, "Anybody want anything?"
I
Like
was just
4 or
gonna tell
5
him.
people, give them like $5. Yeah, give me a coffee and donut, whatever. Hammer runs out the door, never comes back with like the
Larry-
$30 of Dunkin' Donuts money.
Larry added like one part to that.
What was it?
As Larry said, as Hammer got to the door, he looked back and says, "Larry, did you want cream and sugar?" And perfect. If someone says yes,
Yeah.
he gets in his car and drove off.
Yeah.
Larry never saw him again.
Yeah.
And I've never seen him since those days.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I remember, I'm
Well-
still friends with the guy that he ran out on the 100 or whatever it was playing pool.
Well,
and,
a friend of mine,
he's lucky he got out the door. Let me
a
tell you.
friend of mine passed away. I don't know what kind of say it was,
Sorry
but
to hear that.
he caught up with Hammer after Hammer owed him money after he beat him at Yale Billiards, and then he beat him at Bristol Billiards, I think it was, or he beat him up, or Waterbury, one of the two.
Yep.
But I guess he pretty much pulled his pockets inside out, pulled his socks down. He really in front of everybody. He was a big guy, so he in front of everybody just took
Yeah.
every.
I heard somebody threw a big glass ashtray at him. I don't know at what pool.
Oh, wow, I didn't know
but
about that one.
I remember they were talking about it because they said that it was such a big, heavy ashtray that they were scared it would have killed him if it hit him
Mhm.
One of my favorite
or,
Hammer
hurt
stories.
him real bad.
We were in your pool room. It was a B-level tournament.
Yep.
And I don't know why I was there, but I was there watching.
Yeah.
So they have a Calcutta. I'm leaning against one of the tables. Hammer's to my right, a few feet over there, and his fiance is to my left, a
Yep.
few feet. Well, Hammer's name come up on the Calcutta. He bids. She's
She
bidding
bid.
against him. He went over 200 in the Calcutta. Nobody else went for 50.
It was just him and
He
his
finally realized it's his wife or friend, his fiance, bidding against him. He starts screaming.
What are you doing?
Larry told her one day because he came in the pool room. I don't know why he brought her in to meet us down to Chicago Billiards to meet his friends, and none of us were his friends. And she introduced her. All Larry said to her, "Something wrong with you?"
You must have a screw loose
Something's-
lady.
And I think the marriage only lasted the length of the honeymoon.
Yeah. Hammer was piece of work. He was a piece of work.
He would have that every time he'd walk in Chicago Billiards. Larry put Hammer Time on.
Yeah. He loved it. Yeah.
He would well up.
He had the biggest ego.
Oh God.
He was one of those players that they could never beat their ego. Like he could get busted by a C player because he would give up 19 on 20 or something insane, you know?
Yeah.
A buddy of mine actually always had a funny story. He had passed away too. The Hammer was in there one time, and my buddy was just sitting there having a coffee. He was like a B player. Like Hammer would drill him. Hammer was
Hammer
a
could
better.
play.
Yeah, that's what I'm
He
saying.
could really
So
play.
my friend who was
He
a
was
B
nuts.
player, he knew not to get out of line with Hammer because it's a bad game, right? So he said, Hammer, I'll give you a break ball in hand on the triple shim gold crown. I'll give you a break ball in hand to break and run out against a ghost. 20 a rack or whatever, and he busted him for everything he had in his pocket because
Yeah.
he knew Hammer was a scumbag, so he made him pay after every rack.
Yep.
And he said it was.
I can see him getting so mad.
He said it was the most satisfying like 300 he ever made because all he did was sit there and drink coffee and watch Hammer go on mega tilt.
Oh man. Yeah, Larry had that's one thing Larry had too. He knew how to pick people. He knew the targets, man.
Yeah.
He knew the targets and he knew how to get to them. And
He somebody told me a story that he used to go into the pool room, and if there was no real players and real targets, he would just go to the table next to the biggest drug dealer, pimp, bookie, whatever, and just start running his mouth. Nobody in this dump could beat me. These guys are all chumps. And just fearlessly trying to entice
had
action.
no
anybody, yeah.
But that's ballsy.
It is, yeah.
Like, what if you beat the guy for 1,000? Like, now you gotta get out the door.
They're gonna try to stank you.
Which
Maybe could make people gamble that doesn't gamble.
yeah, and go off.
And go off.
Not just
I remember
not just gamble, go
Well, in
off.
Maine, one of those summers, we go into this bar. They're playing $5 pool, and I'm not going to play $5. Maybe gets a guy play 100 a game,
Right,
and
right.
he did it over and
Right.
over, and
You know,
and people didn't get mad at him.
you know the story about when he was going to meet Bob Kobus at World Championship. They were going to go to, I believe, a Joss tournament at Snookers together. This is before cell phones, right? So they see each other the night before. Hey, meet me down here in the parking lot. We'll take your car. We'll leave at 11 a.m., whatever it is. So Kobus gets there, waits about 20, 25 minutes, half hour for my dad. My dad doesn't show. There's no cell phones. You can't call him. There's nothing you can do, right? So Bob goes to the tournament, and 3, 4, 5 hours goes by, and somebody from Snookers goes and finds him and says, "Hey, you got a phone call." It's my father on the phone. He says, "Dude, I went to get a grinder at a grinder shop, and they had a little 7-foot valley there. And I ended up beating the guys out of like 1,800. And sorry I didn't make it, but, I got 100 for you or something. And it's just, how do you do that? You stop in to get a grinder and you bust the joint for like 1,700 or
He
something?
had a knack,
Yeah,
and I have seen him go up to in Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Two big black guys
yeah,
walks right up. Which one do you want to gamble?
yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm Larry's partner. I'm not anywhere near him.
Right. You're thinking, what is wrong with you, you maniac?
I got a Bobby Kobus story. I think is funny
Yeah.
about you knew Bobby at all.
Oh, of course. Of course.
You-
Every pool room in the country, pretty
Yeah,
well, at
he
least
sold,
East Coast.
he sold cues in your parking lot.
He sold cues with me, actually. I bought cues from him.
We're playing a tournament in Stanford, and actually Larry's there because I saw him do a trick with his tongue, but that's a different story. But it comes down to I'm playing Ginky for third, fourth, and first and second are Keith McCready and Mike Zugler.
Yeah.
So the place is packed.
Yeah.
Back when we used to pack them for tournaments. Down, if you remember Stanford, you could walk down around the back and they couldn't see you from front. Well, Ginky and I scores like 3-3, 4-4. Well, one of us looks at the other and says, "Let's go to the back." Because now we're going to chop the tournament.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that who plays. So we go into the bathroom. I bend over. There's 2 stalls. I look under both stalls. There's no feet at all. So now Ginky and I we're discussing how we're going to dump this match.
Sure.
Bobby Kobus comes walking out of the bathroom, puts his hands up. I didn't hear
I didn't hear
nothing. I
nothing.
walked out. He wasn't smart enough to bet. He already knew how it was going to end.
Right.
But I had checked that stall for legs, and there weren't any under that
He
stall.
was trying to figure something out.
He did. He must have been standing on the toilet.
Yeah.
Let's Rob on the hill, guys.
Kobus was,
Special.
yeah.
He was a character for sure.
Jokes. He could go on for hours and rattle them off, and they
Robbie-
weren't cheesy jokes. They
No.
were great jokes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
Oh,
he could do
let me
right-
tell you something, Bobby. Come
Yeah.
here. Then 2 hours later.
He had one. I can't even talk about what it was about, but it was to this day one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard in my life.
He would do Rodney Dangerfield, and I would want to cry.
Yeah.
He was so good.
Yeah, he was.
He was a great.
He was a. You
character.
ever watch him practice? You don't know how he ever lost.
Yeah, he
But
could
then
play.
put him in a game
He-
for money, and
He was trying to rob me at your place
Yeah.
when I was like 19
Yeah.
at World Championship. He came up to me, "You want to play some cheap sets?"
What do you
I'm
want
like,
to do?
"Get out of here.
What do you
You
want
want to play some cheap sets?"
now Bobby wouldn't play you, but he'll play your sister.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had girls.
Yeah, he would never play an even game.
Right,
Never,
right, yeah.
never play an
He
even
needed
game.
the best of it.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, he could play.
he's the one that got me with I'm gonna spot you 106 in straight pull.
But you only use the sides.
Yeah, he got me.
Yeah.
He got me. That last one you. I
Yeah.
paid it. I learned it.
Yeah.
I got my money back. I'm sure. But
See what I'm saying? Like, it's
He got
good.
me. He got
I
me.
don't mind paying off.
Yeah,
cheap on
no, he got
hustles
me good.
if they're good ones, you know.
oh, Phil Davis in there.
I see him. I didn't know how to respond. So I didn't say
Phil, this is a PG thing, Phil. Oh, man.
Oh, Dennis talking about a hammer pulling the
Yeah,
coffee.
yeah, I know.
Dennis used to be the house man at Classic, so he saw all the good juice.
That's where I learned how to play
Yeah.
classic billiards, man.
Oh,
That was back in the
oh,
day.
yeah,
Yeah.
when George still had it before his wife took the pool room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently he was in the back room with her niece, and she took the pool room, and George. Yeah,
Yeah, I
next
forgot
time I
what-
saw you.
Michelle.
Michelle.
Oh, yeah.
Michelle. Yeah.
Yeah, we absorbed a lot of their business after. That's how I
Oh,
met this guy, Dennis
absolutely.
Morgan, and a lot of other great guys. This guy Silk and Bill
What-
Sorensen, a bunch of guys.
It was
you
real
know,
fun.
guys.
Tom, John Morton, those guys.
Yep.
Yeah, those real soft candies.
Yeah, I never went there that I can remember at least.
You know, I lived. That's where I learned how to play. Actually, long.
I just remember when all these guys came in, and I was like, "Where are you guys all coming from all of a sudden?"
Yeah,
They
because
were
you
like,
guys had all nice new stuff. They,
Right.
they didn't take care of anything.
right. I heard it was like that, but
Yeah.
it was like East Hartford, right?
Yeah, right in
Yeah.
East Hartford.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a rough
Yeah.
town.
Collins Street or something.
Bobby,
like
I
that.
played Larry the year they opened the pool room up there. We would play down in Milford Rec, which was a great spot.
There was a lot of action back
So
there back in the day.
Larry and I played every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
1-9.
And we would bet between. say
Rob would
three-
not play that.
Because of two. I don't.
He's still not going to play it.
We would bet between 300 and 800 a set. Larry and I played the whole winter. Then they opened your pool room, and we stopped playing. Like I started going up there. But what we would do every time Larry and I would break even, we'd flip a coin
Oh yeah.
to pay the table time. So at the end of this time, Larry says, "Well, I've been keeping track," and I know he wasn't keeping track.
Yeah.
He says, "I've been keeping track, Bob. We're almost dead even gambling," which I knew we were close. He said, "But I beat you for 900 on flips." I'm not even exaggerating.
Was it heads on a fucking table?
Yeah.
I knew that.
I was gonna slip.
Yeah, I cannot believe I just. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
I knew that.
Cancel the sponsors. You're all done.
I
He
know.
beat me every single flip that winter.
Yeah.
I even flipped sometimes.
Yeah.
He would just laugh at me every
Just
time.
because
That
you brought me back to that moment, right? So I'm down 100 to Larry, and he wants a flip for 100. Now I'm going around. You can't fix a flip, right?
Yeah,
I
right,
can't fix a
right.
flip. Like I knew there was something behind
Yeah,
it. 'Cause it's him,
Right.
but I just
Can we
couldn't.
use my coin?
Yeah, you're right.
I need to
We
flip.
did use my
My
coin. Yeah, you
coin.
can flip whatever. No, he called. I flipped. He called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not surprising that you say he won every flip because I can't win a flip to save my life. I paid off 700
I can't either.
like 6 months ago to a friend of mine, and it was ugly.
Yeah,
I
I gave up on flips. I just can't. I'm
Yeah,
50-50 on
I
these.
should because I'm just leaking money away every year.
Sorry, Phil. Sorry.
Yeah. Your father, he
Sorry.
robbed me.
Hopefully,
I think
Leanne's
Phil-
not watching.
I think Phil and my father would have got along pretty good.
Oh man!
I think he
oh,
would've got Phil.
yeah,
I think he would have got. I think Phil would have got
He would've
got
loved
going
him.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Phil's a good sport. He likes to. He
Yeah.
likes to gamble.
He learns the angles too. He
Alex
knows
did.
all the angles.
Yeah, he's right. He's seen it. He's seen it, man. We have a lot of.
I'm the
fun
same way,
flipping.
man.
Yeah, Phil, you definitely would
Phil,
have fun with him.
everybody had fun with Larry.
Yeah, he was.
He was
Phil, I love Phil's sense of humor. He's got a beautiful sense of humor.
because it's so
Him and my
underneath.
yeah. It's one of those where you read it and
Yeah.
then like a minute later you're like, oh
Yeah, yeah.
dirty.
No, there's something behind it for sure.
Yeah.
absolutely.
He's on the next level when he gets into your head. But that's similar to how my father was too. They would have had a ball together. Look at
Well,
this tightening up.
Listen, talking about your dad, to get Phil Davis even comment, like he watches every show, every match we play, to comment, forget about it.
That was it for Rob.
Yeah.
Rob wins that one. It's,
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
yeah, guys, thank you very much, Lance. Appreciate it.
Thank you very
Bobby,
much.
good job as
Thank you.
always.
Bobby was-
I hope you guys enjoyed all that. The good stories. Maybe we'll bring Lance back again and do something again. So this is Bobby saying, boom.
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 Have a good night, guys.
We want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors here on the Shark Stream. You have Connecticut APA, SigmaWare, Agency One Group, Jacoby Custom Cues, Women in Pool, Mabel's Tables at Michael's Deli, NM Billiard Sales and Service, 11 Hall Avenue, Wallingford, Connecticut, KM Maintenance, JT's Pool Cue Repair, Salado App, Mark Anthony Home Improvements, Tommy's Tattoo Supply, Jimmy's Auto Service, Joe Master Billiards, Aramith Balls, Organic Tattoo, Vacu Lease, Tweeden Fiber Corp, Harriman Real Estate, Pool Table Magic, Ben Strong, K Morgan, Man Cave Memories, and of course, Viking Cues, Simonis Cloth, and Andy Gow. This is Bobby saying, boom, without you, there is